For 5,000 years, the Great Pyramids have stood like guardians of eternity. Monuments that defied time, weather, war, and even the civilizations that rose and fell around them. But today, they face an enemy older than humanity itself: the desert. The greatest wonders of the world are finally meeting their match, and it isn't time, it's the sand. For millennia, these structures survived by sheer engineering brilliance. But now, in a world without humans, the Sahara is reclaiming its territory. What you're about to witness is the slow death of the Pyramids of Giza. Not through violence, not through destruction, but through silence. We always believed the pyramids were eternal, immortal, unshakable, but the truth is counterintuitive. Right now, even in our real world, wind-driven sands are already breaching their surfaces, carving microscopic fractures you can't see, but the desert can. The Sahara is erasing history in real time, and this is only the beginning. And the terrifying part? The process doesn't require centuries. It has already begun. The smooth Tura limestone casing, the outer shell that once reflected sunlight like polished gold, is now a ghost of its former glory. In the year 2026, extreme heat cycles began accelerating faster than at any point in recorded history. Daytime temperatures soar beyond 50 degrees Celsius, baking the stone until it expands like a pressure-loaded spring. When night falls, temperatures crash and the stone contracts violently. This thermal whiplash cracks the surface like shattered glass. Then comes the sand, fine, sharp, quartz-laced grains carried by Saharan winds, powerful enough to lift a grown man off his feet. Once these winds begin funneling against the pyramids, something extraordinary happens: a wind tunnel effect. The base stones are hit with the force of industrial sandpaper. Each gust strips away microscopic layers. Each storm carves deeper into the stone's pores. Without humans, the restoration stops, the deterioration accelerates, and the once smooth surfaces collapse into jagged, wounded geometry. But the pyramids are not the only victims. The Sphinx, the guardian of Giza, the creature carved from a single limestone ridge, is now at its most vulnerable state ever. For thousands of years, groundwater has slowly risen beneath the plateau. Salt crystals have formed inside the stone, expanding and exploding microfractures from the inside. Think of it like a ticking time bomb waiting for the slightest trigger. When the sandstorms hit, they don't strike the Sphinx evenly. The neck, the chin, the iconic face, all exposed, all soft limestone, a perfect target. Over centuries, the face begins to fade. The nose was lost long ago, but now even the eyes dissolve. The mouth collapses into a blurred indentation. The proud, majestic gaze, once carved by ancient artisans, disappears entirely. Eventually, the Sphinx is no longer a symbol, just a weathered stump protruding from a shifting dune, half visible, half forgotten. Meanwhile, inside the Great Pyramid, a silent invasion begins. Sand finally breaches the forced entrance carved by ancient tomb robbers. The passage fills like an hourglass turning over for the last time. Grain by grain, the grand gallery becomes a chute of drifting sand, collapsing centuries-old air pockets and sending spirals of golden dust swirling in total darkness. The king's chamber, once the most sacred place in Egypt, turns into a pressurized tomb of grit. Sand blocks the ventilation shafts, airflow stops, the internal climate shifts from dry stability to suffocating stagnation. The massive granite beams above, the ones engineered to last forever, begin to crack under uneven pressure from exterior dunes piling against the structure. Outside, the plateau is transforming. Flash floods, rare but immensely powerful, become more common as global climate patterns shift. When they hit the pyramids, something terrifying happens. Sand becomes slurry. Slurry becomes liquid sandpaper. This mixture grinds against the base stones, cutting deeper than any storm could. In the next millennia, the pyramids lose their perfect geometry. The apex stones fall first, sliding inward like broken teeth. Each collapse sends shockwaves through the structure, destabilizing lower levels. The straight lines become curved slopes, corners crumble. Without their casing stones, the core blocks, softer and more fragile, disintegrate under pressure. By year 4000, the pyramids are no longer pyramids. They are skeletal mounds, rounded, melted silhouettes of their former perfection. Man-made stone blends with natural rock until you can't tell where human engineering ends and the desert begins. And then comes the Great Leveling. By year 7000, migrating Barkhan dunes, massive crescent-shaped giants, march across the plateau like an ocean made of gold. Their movement is slow but unstoppable. One dune, then another, rolls over the remaining stones. The last exposed block from Khufu's pyramid disappears beneath a silent wave of sand. At this moment, humanity's greatest achievement ceases to exist, from the surface at least. No shadow remains, no outline, no evidence that these were once the tallest man-made structures on Earth. The Sahara has claimed victory. From a bird's eye view, Giza becomes indistinguishable from the desert around it, just an endless, pristine sea of gold stretching to every horizon. No tourists, no guides, no roads, no scaffolding, no echoes of human hands that once shaped mountains into monuments. Everything gone. And buried far beneath the dunes, the pyramids sleep again. Not as perfect structures, not as wonders of the world, but as fragments, stones swallowed by the desert they once defied. In the end, the irony is poetic. Khufu built his pyramid to achieve eternal permanence, but it was defeated by the smallest, most simple force on Earth: grains of sand. 1,000 generations after humanity disappears, the desert stands victorious, not through conquest, but through patience. The golden sea moves, the monuments sink, and the silence of the Sahara becomes the final chapter of Egypt's greatest story.